Hi, today is a little different. I am going to give you a quick tour of the engine room, which lives between the sort of kitchen area and my bedroom at the back, cabinet at the back, and it lives under the floor of the saloon. And it's, compared to other boats, I think it's actually pretty spacious. There's enough room to kind of squeak in here and work on stuff when you need to, but it's got an awful lot of engine in here as well. So we'll start with the engines. The boat has two 225 horsepower Cummins diesel engines. They sit facing forward, and you can see that's the engine, this is the gearbox, and that's the drive shaft down here. And then the propellers are outside the boat at the back over there. Now they are Detroit diesels, but they were built in Italy. These diesel motors are the most common medium-sized diesel motors pretty much in the world. These are the things that power buses, generators, trucks. Just, they're very common. People know how to work on them, and they're kind of bulletproof. They're really good. When they start perfectly. The only time the motor didn't start was this one, and this is because the water had got into here and something had corroded, come disconnected, and the motor thought it should stop, so it wouldn't start. And it took a few days to fix it, but we got it fixed. I mean, it wasn't the fault of the motor, but I fixed it, so nothing else matters. And in between the two motors, there are these batteries. Now these are new. I put these in just south of Paris, October 2021. So they got probably another 3 years or so of life. And I've got more batteries at the front, but I'll explain about them later. So back here, gearbox, engine mounts, and then over there, you can't really see it because it's dark. There you go. That is the port fuel tank, and then obviously the starboard fuel tank is on the starboard side. This is a drain that I installed, which you can use to if there's water or something gets in the bottom of the tank, I can use that to drain it, which I did in Chatham. Down here, this is the main water strainer for the port engine. That I had to clear out a couple of times when I was in the canals of France, but not so much when I'm in the water over here. This is a pump. Where are we? This is the manual bilge pump. Hang on, there you go, it goes in there. If everything else is gone, at least you have a manual bilge pump to rely on. And talking of relying on stuff, I rely on you people to let people know that I have a YouTube channel. So if you could post this around a couple of your friends or in a couple of groups, that'd be good. Make sure you click the subscribe and the like button. If you really are a nice person, you will join my Patreon supporters. There's a link below, so that would be great. But back to the story. So on the other side, as I said, you got the same thing. You got the strainer, the water strainer back here, which I check every now and again. And then what else have we got? So this is a fuel filter, another fuel filter, and then there's an oil filter there, and then there's another oil filter on the other side. There are two automatic fire extinguishers down here as well. So if there was a disaster and the engines caught fire, automatic fire extinguishers go off and should put them out. So that's a good thing. What else? This is a thing that got clogged up when I was in France. It's odd that there's this weird tight 90-degree turn, but it's there and there's nothing I can do about it. But that's where the cloggage got in and stopped my engines working. Well, it didn't stop the engines working, but it caused a little bit of overheating. And if you remember, I had a bit of an overheating problem when I was in France. So, okay. The motors are actually turbos. That's the turbo there. And there's another one over there somewhere, but I'm not going to touch any of that stuff because I would cause a problem. And I've caused enough of those in my time. And slightly forward at the other end of the engine bay, we have more batteries. Let me show you, hang on. There's another 3 there and 1 there. So there's 4 batteries that belong to the boat, which is the starter motors and the leisure. But then I also have 4 more batteries that are not connected to the boat directly. They're connected to my solar, and right now they're getting charged by my generator, which is out the front. I don't really want to go into all the electrical stuff right now because, to be honest, I don't even know if I understand it myself. The bottom line is that if I need 120 volt, if I'm not plugged into something in a marina, then I use this power inverter here, which says 1500 watts. It's not. This is the front of the port engine here. This is the heat exchanger, which actually does, when the engine's running, I mean, it has its normal cooling just like this one on the other side, but it also has a pipe that runs up to the water heater on the boat. So if I'm using the boat, then by the time I get to my destination, I've got hot water and I don't need to have any electricity to create the hot water. This is one of my water tanks. It's a little bit empty right now. And the other fuel tank, the other fuel tank is back in that corner there somewhere. So there's 2 fuel tanks, port and starboard, and then there's 2 water tanks, port and starboard. The water tanks are connected, the fuel tanks are not connected for safety. This is the onboard battery charger. So when I'm plugged in to the shore power at a marina, then this thing charges up. If one of the motors is running, it charges, and if I'm running my generator, it charges as well. So it's a pretty big, I think like a 30 amp generator. And I've had no problems with it. I've had no problems with that at all. I mean, the only thing I've had problems with is stuff that I've installed, and it's not really because I'm not a boat installer. Sorry, it's really hot in here. Ugh. And these things here are the control cables that make you go forward and back. And the amount of throttle you're giving the engine. There's some on this side and there's some on this side. And if you want to see what the instruction manual looks like for the motors that I have on this boat, down below me is the bilge, down there, and there's a bilge pump up there, a controller rather, but it's set on automatic, so it just expels stuff. There's a little bit of a little bit of oil down there. I wonder what that is. I need to investigate that a bit. So for now, that concludes my little tour of the engine room of my Birchwood TS37. If you have any questions or comments, then please make them in the little comment section below. And again, thank you very much for watching.